Canada now sits on over $1.3 trillion in federal debt. And that number keeps climbing. That isn't the conservative debt or the liberal debt. That is your debt. Debt that your kids didn't vote for. Debt that your grandkids will be paying. And every time the government says, oh, we can afford it, what they really mean is that you'll deal with it later. And this is exactly why the idea that Mark Carney represents change is such a joke. Because let's stop pretending that this is a new direction. It isn't. Mark Carney didn't arrive in Ottawa to clean house. He arrived to protect the same system, the same priorities, the same global commitments, same spending habits that put Canada into this position in the first place. Different face, yes. Different resume, yes. But the same elite mindset, same priorities, with the same outcomes. Canadians were sold a rebrand and told it was a reform. But under Carney, the same global first thinking continued. The same international commitments, the same obsession with optics and the approval from institutions that do not live with the consequences of these decisions. And nowhere is that clearer than in foreign spending. In 2025, while Canadians were freezing, while tent cities expanded, and while food banks hit record usage, the federal government continued committing billions overseas. We just sent another $2.5 billion to Ukraine. For what? What is that helping? Let's stop speaking in vague terms and numbers. In 2025 alone, Canada committed another $2.5 billion in economic aid to the Ukraine, announced right at the end of the year before we roll into 2026, during a winter where Canadians were literally sleeping outside. Since the start of that conflict, Canada has committed well over $20 billion in combined financial, military, and humanitarian assistance. On top of that, Canada's annual international assistance budget sits nearly $8 billion every single year. And none of that money is coming from the surplus. It's borrowed. Borrowed while Canadians are already drowning in debt. Borrowed while Canadians are told there's no money for housing, healthcare access, or veterans. Borrowed while politicians pat themselves on the back for being generous with someone else's future.